Today we got a 2017 Volkswagen Passat, and we're going to take off the front and rear door panels. They're a little bit tough, just because there's a lot of little things that you have to take apart. Once you get the initial paneling off and you turn some screws down on the bottom, and there's like a Torx up in here too. Once you get those off, then you got to unplug the switches here, and then unlatch the handle. Those are the hardest things because it's kind of tight in there, so you want to do one or the other and kind of turn it, and then you need little tools in there just to be able to take off the harnesses. The driver's side is much harder than the passenger side, but it's virtually the base part of it, of taking the actual panel apart, is the same. On that side there's actually a lot more little harnesses. I already did the driver's side, but I figured I wanted to videotape this before it got too late, and I'm working on a customer's car here. So first what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take this trim off of here. Like almost on all Volkswagens, you have to take off this trim. And you want to use like a bit of plastic tool or something just to get under here, and then use a door panel tool to unsnap a couple of clips that are here. That's the first step. Then there's also a 10mm and also Torx combined bolt that you just kind of turn it about a quarter of a turn, and you'll see how it releases there. I'll try to pan you in when we get to that part. Then there's this panel here that there's a little spot right here where you can get in, and then you pull this little plastic piece off, and there's one Torx screw in there. And then on the bottom, on the driver and the passenger doors, there's actually two of the same type of bolts like that are up here that you just kind of semi-turn, and then you gotta just try to get a corner and just start pulling. Now some of the clips do pop off; they don't break; they just pop off. So then what you'll do is you get your door panel tool and then just take that off the actual metal frame and put them right back on the door. And then you're gonna take the harnesses off. So I'm gonna go ahead and pan you in. We'll start first here with this piece, and then we'll go from there. I like to start on the corner right here, and either try to get a real thin screwdriver just to get to the lip. Once you get that lip up, get a piece of plastic tool underneath there, and then that just pops off. We're going to keep our tool there to kind of hold it for us, and then we're going to get a door panel tool, and then we're just going to kind of, as we slide this tool here, we're going to work right behind it, and just once you get to the clip, I don't know if you can see them, but you want to just get pressure and push, and then it'll just pop it. So you're basically pushing it towards you. Now this one has a nice, whoops, got it. This one has the nice leather, the nice trim right here that looks like a kind of a weird wood grain type. It's like a silver wood grain. And I'll show you on the back of that it has a couple of pieces where it goes in, one there, and then one here. And then these, usually it slides out. But when you pop them off, sometimes it just falls out. When you put it back in, you got to make sure that you actually put it in and then turn it and then snap them into place. And it has, on the edge of it, it has a couple of little guides there. So it has to go back in a certain way. You want to get that front corner in first. Make sure that these little tabs here line up, and then you kind of slide it over, and then you snap it back into place one at a time, starting from the front and then work your way to the back. The next step would be this bolt right here, plastic 10mm and Torx combined. Now the easiest thing to do is just to use a little wrench like this little 10mm. Turn that a whole half a turn right about there, and then now you see that now if this panel is pulled towards us, it's going to come out. So that's one of them, and there's two more on the bottom of the door. Step is going to be, there's actually a little spot right under here. There's like a little notch out. I can't really bring you in on the camera right now because I want to keep taking it off the stand, but what you want to do is just take like a little screwdriver, get under it, kind of pops the panel a little bit, and then get your plastic tool under there. And what I like to do is I take that plastic tool and I try to make enough room to where I get my panel popper tool right under here and kind of work them both at the same time, working my way up. And then that pretty much pops it out. As you can see, it has clips, like, they're not like actual clips, they're like little holes. It snaps into a spot on the door over there. But I think what actually holds it is right in here in the middle. there's actually two spots, one here and one here, and there's actually clips on the door, which are right here and right here. So when you put it back on, it actually snaps it in. I think these are secondary little security things that hold it on there as well. So I just like to work it out slowly so you don't break anything. And the same thing, it'll be reversed. It just kind of pops back on. Now right up in here, there is an actual Torx screw that we're going to take off. I believe it's a T30. Get that out. T30. Set that aside. Top, just like on top of the door panel, where we had that one thing up here, we have two of them down here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to turn those as well. There's one right here, so you want to turn it, and then there's the other one over to the side. And that pretty much does it for all the screws and stuff. You can try to take the switch off if you want. I didn't take them off till I got the door panel off on the passenger. I mean on the driver's side. There is a spot here where there's like a clip inside where you got to kind of push in. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I was able to get it. Okay. I didn't know if you can do it. Pull this off real quick and show you. Makes it easier if you're able to take this harness off. But here in the front of the switch, if you take a little screwdriver and get under there, and then just kind of push on this a little bit in, it'll let you pull the switch up and get it out. You do it from the front part. Do not do it from the back part because you'll break it. So you want to do it from the front part of the switch that's closer to, with the door open, would be closer to the interior of the car. And the same thing goes for the back one. So you take that off, it just makes it easier for when you're pulling the panel. Just one less harness that you have to unplug, and it's not as tight trying to get back there because you got to unlatch some stuff like I was saying. So now you could try to grab under here, see if you just try to grab anywhere where you get an opening, and see if you can get a little separation of the door panel, and then take your door panel tool and just get it under there and kind of work around and try to find where the clip's at. On these, the clips are super tight, so you do have to put a lot of force. This one was actually pretty easier than the other side. All I did was I came over a little bit to the right of the little light that's down here, and you don't have to take off the light on the front ones. On the back doors, I believe you do, because there's one of these little plastic screws that you got to turn. I think there's one behind there, but on the front doors you don't have to do that. So you get up right under here and then just use leverage to kind of push the door panel away from the door, and then just kind of work your way up. So we got the door panel all loose now. So what we're going to do is lift up on the side closer to the actual outside handle. And that's to your right side when you're facing the actual door. So I'm going to lift on that. Get that side up. I'm going to kind of jiggle it that way. And then right there we're going to stop, because we need to get behind here to be able to release the harnesses and the cables and stuff like that. So this is the hardest part. So what we're going to do, so now that I don't have that harness there, it'll actually let me kind of dangle it a little bit, but just want to be careful. Let me take this first piece off first. So this is the actual door handle part. This is the one you got to be really careful. You don't want to break this. So really on this, there's a little hook that goes into the actual handle. So what you want to do here is there's a piece right up in the front. You just want to kind of pick it up like that, and then you pull the cable back. Pull it back like that, and then it unlatches the plastic part. Once it unlatches that, then you're able to unhook that part. a little hook right there to the door handle, and then you're able to kind of drop the door handle down. Next step is on the passenger door. There's actually two harnesses. There's one blue one right there, and then there's a little small black one right there. Now the blue one has a little tab right on the top behind those wires that you just push down, and then it comes down and it gets out. The other one has like a little notch thing on the side, which is really hard to get to and really hard to film here. The blue one first, basically push down and pull. And then the other one is a little bit tough. Okay. So I can show you a little bit better in here now that we got the panel out. So the one harness goes right here, where you just push down on the tab and pull out. And then the other one goes inside of here. Okay? I believe it's like the light for the little piece in here. So you kind of have to get under here and push the little tab. Sometimes if you pull enough, you'll probably get it out. You just don't want to really do that because you don't want to break it. So these are the two harnesses. Here's the little, oops. There's a little release tab on top. And then this one on the side. I don't see a release tab on it, but all I remember was I was pushing on the side of it and it came out. Huh. Kind of weird. Okay, well, that takes that out. That pretty much does it for the passenger side door. And like I said, you have the three little plastic like screws, one here, and one here. If they happen to fall off, just make sure you put them back into place, and they're facing up and down right now, vertical, because when we put the panel back on, we want to make sure the panel will slide on, and then we lock them into place. That's basically what they are. They're like security locks. Now we're moving to the back door. On the back door, there's no second security, that little bolt thing. It doesn't have them on the top. I learned that on the other side. I pulled this panel off for nothing. So you don't have to pull this this trim off unless you're gonna be replacing the trim for some reason. So the only thing is basically pull the switch, pull this little panel just like we did up front, and then right underneath the light on the bottom, which we will take off the light, and all you basically do is get to the top of that light and just kind of pry a little bit on it, and it just pops off. And then there's one of those plastic screws, Torx, 10mm, ones that we'll have to half turn just like we did up front to release the bottom of the panel. So first, we're going to go ahead and take off this piece first, and then take the Torx off. Try to take the switch off just like we did in the front, and then we'll go work our way down here. So there is a little spot under here just like there was in the front. So just kind of, like I said, same thing. Make some room in there. Get your plastic tool. And then get your little door panel tool under there. And just kind of work with it. And it's the same thing. It has the two little setups here. One has the two little clips where it'll snap into. Okay. We'll take our Torx, our T30. We'll get that out. T30 right there. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to take off the switch from the front. Just kind of pry on it. There it is. Came right out. Pretty simple. Release the harness. Pushing down on the little tab. Going out. Take that switch off. We want to take this little lens off. So just get to the top of it. I use my plastic tool and just push down. It comes right off. Okay? And reverse solder to put it back in. Now, I can't really show you this plastic thing because it's really dark in here. And it's kind of up in here, so it's kind of a little hard to see. But if you look down there when you're there, you'll be able to see it. So same thing, just take your little wrench and you're going to half turn it. So I half turned that spot on the bottom. If you find it hard, then you can use either like a 10mm socket, or you can use a Torx tool to kind of half turn it. The wrench is a little hard to get in there, you'll see, because it's kind of inset a little bit, but you can get it because you just have to use it. You don't use a lot of force in order to turn it, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Let me get this out of the doors. Customers got some headphones there, and that's pretty much it. So now we're just going to pull on the panel towards us. It's the same thing we did in the front. We're going to find a spot and then work our way around it. Just unclipped about 3 clips on the bottom, so now I'm going to work my way to the sides over here. Get a little bit away of the camera. You do want to get some force here, and then kind of just jiggle it up like that. Okay. Take the panel off. Show you the back side of it. See if I can possibly show you what I'm doing here. So right here, this is the part that goes into the door handle. So what you want to do is you want to lift up on this part right here, pull back, and then unhook it. Voila. Reverse solder. Hook it. We'll hook it, and then we'll pull back on the cable, put it in, and when it slides in, this front piece will lock into place. Okay? So that's one spot. The next will be over here. We want to release the, I believe it's the door lock switch. So I'm going to try to use my finger in here. There it is. Push down that little tab right here, and then it comes down. And then the last one is the actual light. No, actually there's, hold on here. Got the speaker right over here. It's out of the way. Speaker has 2 little things on the sides. Gotta go like this. Midget fingers, I think. So you squeeze on those 2, and then it comes out. And then the last one would be the light, which is right here. It's got to go that way. So what I did, the actual clip on the body. There's a clip on the body here. Let me show you on the camera. You can barely see it right there. If you follow that harness, it clips onto the frame of the car. Now I'm able to pull the panel a little bit further out. Enable harness we're trying to take off here. Okay. A little tough here. You almost got to get your screwdriver. It's got to be a really tiny little screwdriver, and get underneath the plug and push in a little bit and then pull. I didn't really have that problem on the other sides, but that's what's got to be done here in order to get this off. Sorry it wasn't an easier setup, but yeah, take that clip off, pull it towards you, try to get your, the problem is there's not a lot of room in here, so I had to get my screwdriver kind of underneath the harness, kind of like so, underneath, and kind of pry it a little bit and then pull on it. Well, pull that way, obviously, but going that way. So that pretty much does it for removing the panel. Like I said, it was a little tough getting that last harness out. It's always something. Sometimes you take them off, they come right off. Other times it's a little bit harder. Evidently the last door wanted to be a little bit finicky. Another thing on that driver's door, there is a couple of extra harnesses that you do have to unplug. I think like the trunk release and it might have, I don't know if it has a speaker or something else over there. I can't remember what it has up front, but there's a couple extra harnesses. Just make sure when you're doing on that driver's door that you remember to unplug all that and remember to plug all that back in when you're done. And again, it's pretty much reverse order. If any of the clips come off, which on this one it didn't, on the other doors that they did, and I just popped them off and put them back on the door. If that happens, just like I said, just put them back on the door, and you should be on the door panel. You should be fine. And just make sure when you put these back in, you hook it. Make sure it clips and snaps back in. Okay. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, hit me up. Thanks for watching.